Hello, you are welcome again to another edition of the Wundef Show. Today, we are going to talk to one person who has a lot of experience in the mining sector. He's currently running his own business. He is the co-founder for the Leap Schools. He is the managing director for Leapab Company Limited. And he is in the person of Mr. Aboagye Ohene Adu. You are welcome, sir.
Thanks for having me.
For how long have you been running Leapab Company Limited?
Leapab was established around 2004.
Okay.
As I said, I did the construction
That's about
work.
15 years now.
Yeah, I did the construction. At that time, I was working with the AGA.
Oh, okay.
So I did the construction work, but I had to suspend it because it was conflicting with my work.
Okay.
And also there were delays in payment, as you know.
Yeah.
So you had to be moving to Accra, and I didn't have the time.
All right.
So I suspended it for some time, and then when the redundancy came in 2014, I just decided to go full time. So we invested my money in Leap School, as well as looking for other entrepreneurial activities that I could do.
Okay.
We actually started with a colleague in Accra. We wanted to establish a recycling project here.
Okay.
To actually convert waste into electricity. And we did a lot of negotiations with the ministries, but you know how government negotiations go. They were talking about tariffs reduction, determination of tariffs, and then the NDC government went and the MPP came. Okay. But still, it's not straightforward,
So you still have that vision of it?
That vision is still there. Then when this new idea of one district, one factory came, I just decided, to go into it to see if I can get a loan, from a bank to establish it. So basically, that is what I'm focusing on. We are trying to establish a 1,000-acre oil palm plantation.
Where?
Here, Obuasi.
Oh, okay.
Then we'll add value to it. Either do it, refine it to an edible oil, or CPO, what they call crude palm oil, which can be given to Unilever or whatever. So basically, that's what we are doing now.
So now, it seems there are a lot of projects under the Leapab Company Limited.
Yes.
Which is, I learned you are into construction.
The construction is there,
Okay.
But now I'm not doing that much. I do consultancy as well, sustainability. I've been moderating negotiations between the community and Asanko mines, for some time now. Trying to come up with an agreement on their relationships, on their employment and other things. I actually do it with the AERC, and they have taken me on as a sustainability consultant to assist them.
So right after university, where did you start your first job?
It's all AGA. I never worked anywhere. I did my first
Is that where you had your national service?
Yes. AGA, Anglo is my first
was it that easy getting job at that time? Because it seems like all those that I've spoken to right after school, they had their national service at AGA, and then they were just
no, it wasn't easy. When I came in here, it was even the National Service Secretariat which brought me here, and they were not taking so many people at that time. So when I came in, apart from the fact that they were not employing a lot of people, I also didn't have any feel for Obuasi, because I've stayed in Accra throughout. I said, wow, what am I coming to?
So you just thought I'm coming to do my national service
and go away. Yeah, but after doing the work, for the 2 years, I think
You did national service for 2 years?
Yes, at that time I did it for 2 years, I think the geology manager realized, I was a good guy. So I just at about the end of the service, he called me. Aboagye, do you want to do do you want to work here? In fact, I paused for some time. Because I was still debating, do I have to stay here or whatever? And then I said yes. So even my Ghanaian colleagues, my bosses didn't even know that the guy had, written for me to be taken on. So when I came
Those you were working with?
We were, because Mr. Amano and Co, they were there. But by the time they realized the guy had just taken me, because I think he saw that I was a good geologist, because he gave me assignments and I was able to do all those things. So I didn't have any difficulty. I didn't apply. I was just, taken on.
So which year did you start work at AG?
That is 1986.
1986. Okay. And you said you were later sponsored to study at the
Imperial College, one of the top schools in
Who sponsored you?
It's AGA.
The mine.
Yeah, the mine. The mine. During Sam Jonas' time, he sponsored a lot of workers.
Okay.
If you are prepared to study, you know, I did my MBA. AG sponsored me for my MBA, Henley Business School.
Oh, okay.
You know, we did the course at University of Cape Town. AG sponsored. So if you are prepared to study, and it wasn't easy, you know, because working and studying is a difficult thing, and a lot of people couldn't do it. But I was really, you know, motivated to do it because I feel it's something that is beneficial. That's something that can help me in the future. So I made sure that I took advantage of all those, you know, initiatives and learned a lot. You know,
so you were being sent here and there by AGA to study, and you were still a geologist then?
Yes, I was still a geologist.
How did you end up as the general manager?
You know what? I was at geology for some time, and management took a decision.
Okay.
That based on certain relationships, you know, bad relationship between workers and HR, and then community, and then the company.
Okay.
They decided to bring technical people.
Okay.
Okay, into management, into certain areas where they think based on their experience, they can actually be able to engage.
Okay.
Well, so YBM Ponsa actually proved me. Seriously, as a technical person, I didn't know what I was doing. I was a little bit, you know, afraid, or I wouldn't say afraid, but not confident enough to take out that position, because that was a lot of challenge. I was the first community manager here. Appointed as a community manager, and you know, at that time there was a lot of conflict between the company and the community. Galamsey, exactly. Galamsey, so many activities, you know, very, very bad relationships. But fortunately, you know, when I came in, I was able to engage all those guys, and as at the time I was living that place, there was virtually good relationship between the company.
You were general manager for how many years? For
general manager, I was for about 5-6 years, but I was a community manager, acted as a general manager when the substantive one left. I was involved in the environmental activities as well. You know, I was the first guy. We were the first guys who were even able to get the environmental permit for AGA. They never had one. So I was involved in that. I was, you know, estates. We have about 4,000 units. You know, managing it, you know, in terms of maintenance and all sort of things, I was in charge of that. And the business development, you know, we had a forestry unit that had a vast, and we had a lot of challenges with illegal chainsaw, and we have to manage them. We have other small businesses. The one which was housed at ETS, you know, we had some carpentry shops. All those things were under me. Yeah. So, and then the hospital, and the school as well. So there were a lot of, and these were all challenges, which the company wanted to get rid of. And so there were a lot of engagements that had to go through. And you know, there was also a very big issue with Wakam.
Wakam.
I was deeply involved in the
negotiation.
NGO. Yeah, the NGO. That was actually on human rights issues. So I was traveling to Accra to engage them all the time on how best to compensate them, and so it was full of action. It was full of action. Yeah. So it was a difficult, but you know, with God's help, we were able to do it.
So you left AngloGold Ashanti in 2014.
Yeah, December.
During the redundancy. Now, after the redundancy, before we go into your business, I want us to talk something later about AG. After the redundancy, a lot of issues happened where illegal miners invaded, you know, and it was your job earlier on. You know, you were negotiating with companies and then associations or even communities with the mine. Now, small-scale miners, illegal miners, invaded AGA concession, leading to the death of Big John.
Big John,
then. And then the closure of the mine in 2000, and the total closure in 2016. What is your view on all these issues? Do you think the redundancy was the best way to go?
For some of us, we kicked against it. I mean, it's very expensive closing down a running mine and opening it. You look at what has happened to our estates. Look at the amount of money that is going to go to repair it. If they had even allow people, a few people to stay in and maintain these structures and all those things, I don't think they will spend such money, you know, in maintaining, in upgrading some of these facilities again. Apart from that, you lose a lot of, you know, good workers, good employees, because people who Agudu may not be able to come back, and they would have been recruited by other people as well.
Okay.
So you lose a lot of, knowledge, because a lot of people who know that I'm sitting here can actually predict what is happening underground. I know what is there. I've been there.
Okay.
You get me?
Okay.
And for you to train a technical person, it takes so many years.
Send them outside the country
to study, and
laid off within a day.
Yes, it's very expensive. So to me, it wasn't managed well.
Okay.
At that time that we were going to go on closure, we were trying to negotiate with EPA to actually review, some of the parameters that they use, to assess AGA, because the arsenic level, background was already high because of the nature of the soil. So we went, and they were prepared to start afresh and do it, and then we had to close it. So all those things were not. The death of Big John could have been avoided entirely.
Okay.
It was not managed well at all, and that's something that I will never forget. Because when Malcolm came, the first visit to the site, he had challenges with the Galamseyers.
Okay.
Kudo. Yes, all the guys, all our colleagues were there. I was even working, so when I was called in, within 5 minutes, I solved the issue.
With the
illegal miners.
Okay.
Because he wanted to go in, and the guys were standing there. He was just at the portal, and all the guys were sitting there, and he was creating.
He wanted to go inside Kodo.
Yeah, and they said they wouldn't allow him.
They
have just surrounded the place. But you see, you need to engage.
So it's the same thing that happened.
It's the same thing that happened, which resulted in the death of it. It was a useless exercise, which could have been prevented.
Wow.
It could have easily been prevented, because he had a similar incident and we were prevented. We were able to engage him, and they asked him to come in the same day. Later he went in. So why can't we engage and get people to understand objectives and motives and all those things? But if you want to use force, sometimes it doesn't work.
So the management, the one who was in charge of the work you were doing,
must be held capable for it.
Because since then we haven't heard anything about.
It was just useless exercise. It could have been managed properly.
Apart from the death of Big John, the underground mining was invaded by the Galamseyers. These illegal miners were actually mining down there.
The miners, illegal miners, even during my time, were coming underground.
Okay.
Sometimes they did it with the support of some of our workers. Okay. So that was why I was engaging them all the time. People were dying, and then they were actually assaulting people underground. So I had to. That was the reason why we established. We were meeting them regularly to understand them, the implications of what they were doing and that kind of thing. So I remember at one meeting in Elmina, I even called them armed robbers, and their bosses were. Angry. They were angry. They came down. They said they could solve the problem. Okay. They came here. They couldn't solve the problem. So it was a very complex problem, which has stayed here for quite a long time, and so it needed to be managed in a very sensible manner.
Just that the redundancy or the closure of the mine intensified the.
No, even at that time, the intensification of the artisanal mining activity was even worse than when they closed down the mine.
Oh, really?
They were actually. When we were mining at GCS and all that, they were actually, when they were tracking the ore, they were actually seizing the area and climbing it, it was really serious.
Taking what the legal miners have blasted and they come and take them out.
I'll tell you. So that was worse. And what even baffles me is that now you said you have secured the mine. You've put fence all around it. How could these people get down there? And so security was last.
Security or military, even the military was also invited.
They are not afraid of military. Because there's always collusion.
Wow.
No, it's a very complex issue. Okay. So you need to have people who understand the issues, and is a multi-stakeholder approach to the whole thing. It's a very complex.
So AGA is back officially. They said they are back, and by the end of this year. They will
start with the production.
Yes, they will start with production.
Yeah, I think we are all happy that they are back.
Okay.
But my worry is the complaints that people are having with respect to employment.
Okay. Local content.
The local content, and that is the critical issue if they don't manage it well. will actually disrupt the activities.
Okay.
And so they need to look at that thing critically and look at how best they can engage the community to support the activities.
Okay.
Otherwise, I think they are going to have challenges because from what I'm hearing, it doesn't sound good for the company.
And do you think the company is handling the issue well?
I don't think so, because if they are handling it well, people will not be complaining. Even right now, people are still complaining.
Okay.
And what is the approach? How are they dealing with the issue? Okay. They shouldn't just, put it aside and say, oh, these people are. And it has to be it has to be strategic.
Okay.
You get me? You don't just do ad hoc things. You do one thing here, do that are all linked. It doesn't, because it doesn't impact on the people and the environment here and the communities. Because everybody who comes here gets worried, that we are not benefiting from the mining company. When I was living, I was the chairman of a committee that was actually supposed to implement the establishment of a university here. Why should it take us 4 years for all the estates to be degraded before we start bringing
so
it?
So that means at the time
you start, you have to, yes.
They could have been occupied by
these students. Exactly. And now, with the university, they create a lot of jobs. They actually impact on the community. If you go to Winneba, there's virtually nothing now. But if you go to Wa, now look at how Wa is expanding. UDS.
Okay.
So to me, that is a viable project that should be undertaken as soon as possible, so that because if you look at Obuasi for all these years, there's not even any tertiary institution here, which is terrible.
Go face,
yes,
Atakwa, we have Atakwa School of Mines.
Exactly. We don't have anything here. So I think it's something that you have to drive as quickly as possible, so that you can actually, and that would diversify the economy. Because that would be more the reason why I'm trying to even establish the 100,000 acre, because I think we have to diversify the local economy.
You are still watching the Wundef Show, and we are here with Mr. Aboagye Ohene Adu, former general manager of AngloGold Ashanti. He is the managing director for Leapab Company Limited. Let's go for a very short break. We'll be back soon. You're welcome back to the Wundef Show. We are here with Mr. Aboagye Ohene Adu, the managing director for Leapab Company Limited. First of all, let me know, what is Leapab about? Okay,
basically I established Leapab as a construction company.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the initial objective, to do it. So there was a bidding process at the assembly. So I had to, normally when you are doing this, it's in management. Okay. It's not you who can do everything. Okay. So I had to get a technical guy, somebody with a civil background, and we put the numbers together, and then we were able to win the contract. Okay. So it wasn't.
What contract was that?
It was the pavement, and in partnership with a friend, who was doing it, because I didn't have the time. Okay. Yeah, we started doing that.
So that was your first contract?
That was my first contract. Okay. And up to now, if you go there, the place is still, and that is what I'm happy about. That we did a good job. Okay. There wasn't much profit on it, but it was good. It's a good thing that we did, and now it's changed the whole place. Okay. So as I said earlier, I suspended it a bit because
you suspended the company.
I wasn't, taking in other things because there were delays in payments, as well. And if you are taking a loan,
that contract, did it delay?
No, we finished. Yeah, they delayed. Normally just.
For how long? How long did?
That was almost a year or so.
Before the money came.
Yeah, before the money, I had to try and chase it in Accra and that kind of thing. Okay. So I realized, it's not something that, and I didn't have the time, so I have to put it on hold for some time and see how best we can do it.
So after 2014, yes, you started
again. Yes. So that one I started with the consultancy one as well. Okay. Doing sustainability negotiations, with Asanko. Okay. And then sometimes when anything comes up, ERC will call me. As I'm sitting here with you now, I've just been appointed an independent contractor by a UK firm. Called Critical Resources. Okay. They advise companies on mining issues, and they want to come to Ghana, so they want to see my advice and see how sustainability, stakeholder environment, and that kind of thing. So they just gave me the letter 2 days ago. Basically those are the things. So opportunities are
consultation, construction.
Yes, we are doing consultation, construction, and then procurement. I'm an agent. Okay. I'm an agent for a Belgium-based firm,
Okay.
Procure Africa.
Okay.
We're already supplying something to AGA.
Okay.
It's good, but it's more like an agency.
Okay.
So we want to establish a partnership, where we can get a local, person like me to partner them and then make it bigger, because that is where AGA is going to go.
So all that you are doing, you got that exposure from your time at the mine.
It's giving me, because I've got a lot of exposure.
Okay.
And a lot of training. Have an MBA, and I still continue to learn.
Okay.
You get me? Even when I came home, I did a University of Pennsylvania. I've done a executive certificate in social impact strategy.
Oh, okay.
I'm now doing an online course on entrepreneurship at Wharton. Wharton is one of the best schools in the US as well. Okay. So I'm already learning. I'm learning for life. So I learn, read about things, and I don't let it go. This project that we are doing in Leapab, I've done a lot of research, and my MBA is also giving me an opportunity, because I can understand the financials, I can understand what should go in, to get some of these things done, especially when you are making a proposal. Okay. So that actually helps me to also understand the various strategies to use.
Okay. Yeah. So why Leapab? Why the name Leapab?
It just came, Leap, and then I added Aboagye Ohene on it.
Oh, okay.
So the Leap school comes from it.
Oh, okay.
You get me?
So which of it came first?
Leapab came, and then
Leapab came, then you got Leap school from that. Yes. Where do you see Leapab in 5 years' time? Because now you have consultancy, you went into procurement, into construction, you have a school, and now where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Basically, it's evolving.
Okay.
And when you start a business, the next phase is to scale.
Okay.
You get me? You have to make it bigger, or you have to make it profitable. You have to manage it well.
Okay.
With the oil palm project, we are now even starting acquiring. We have acquired some of the land.
Okay.
We are now starting to plant. Okay. Now, when you plant, it takes 3 to 4 years for it to fruit.
Okay.
We are thinking of adding value, a factory that will actually convert this. Because if you sell only the fruit bunches, you don't make much profit, and that is what is happening here. Okay. So if you're able to add value,
so like package the palm oil,
or even the crude oil, then you can add value to it and make more profit.
And you have plans of establishing that one too?
Yes, it's together with that, but I'm also looking for investors. I may be traveling very soon just to see if I can get an investor. I'm talking to other people as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so with God help, and the support of the government, I think the government is doing well by giving some of these initiatives, so that if we had diversified the economy, we wouldn't spend so much money importing things and spending it. That's why the CD dollar is fluctuating all the time, because we even import food.
Okay.
Which is not right. In any country, if you are not able to feed yourself and import, then you basically.
Why don't we have enough to feed ourselves?
Because people do not see farming as a good, as a good business or whatever.
Why didn't they see? Is it because we didn't prioritize it?
If we really want to be, we have to do commercial farming where you actually use technology and other things to do mass and add value. You get me? Now we are at the mercy of the weather. Okay. So if the weather changes, with this climate change issue, then you cannot even get the produce and then we are not even using the right application of fertilizers. The agronomic practices, all those things are very important.
What can we do to improve agriculture in Ghana?
I think basically it's education, it's the extension services, because some of the farmers also don't have access to people who can actually teach them the best methods.
Okay.
They are all using the same old-fashioned methods. They don't even know how to apply fertilizers, and they are modern seeds, very, very healthy seeds that are being developed,
Okay.
So all those things. And then in terms of finances, because you see, farming and all those things, it's also expensive. If you don't get the finances, people who can even weed your farm or whatever, you cannot do it.
Okay. Wow.
You get me?
Wow.
So you are not adding value. So even when you produce, people just come and buy it cheap. The next time you look at tomatoes, if they don't buy it, you just have to throw it away. And then you have wasted all the energy and all the time to produce for it to be thrown aside.
And do you intend to not throw anything away when you finally succeed in having your palm trees matured?
It depends on the investment. It depends on. Sometimes you cannot do everything.
Okay.
You get me? Sometimes you cannot do everything. So it depends on. All these are highly capital-intensive activities.
Okay.
And you also have to get the experts to come and that kind of. So it's just the beginning. Let's see what goes out.
Because maybe if we can also invite other investors who are who will be interested in using other parts of.
Of course, yes. Some people
for production.
Yeah. You know, downstreams and all those things. There can be other downstream activities that can come in,
but
or whatever.
What about if we carry out more education for people to understand that the palm tree has a lot of uses, and we can decide to use every part of it? Maybe people don't even know. Some people have the money there, but they don't even know how to invest their money.
No, it's true, and it takes time. You see, it also takes a bit of time, and normally to be able to do it well, you have to get large tracts of land. If you go to Malaysia, Indonesia, it's thousands of hectares, thousands of hectares. Here, our land system doesn't help us. Even securing the land, it's a challenge. You go here and somebody says it's my land, and then there are conflicts here, there are this. So it makes, doing big commercial farms very difficult. So these are the things we have to get land banks or whatever. No, these are all issues that need to be addressed by the government.
What is the future of farming in Ghana?
I think if we continue to do like the government is doing, because I think they are doing a lot of putting a lot of policies in, not only oil palm or the cashew, they are doing all sort of things, non-traditional, crops and all those things, and food. I think they are able to do it, and successive governments try to support it, and then the country become industrialized. Then that is where we will get the stable city.
So you see a bright future for the agri sector in Ghana? Yes.
If only we continue to support it, and the moment we support it and people see it's profitable, the young guys will get involved. Because you see, outside you don't even need too many people. About 1% of farmers. 1% of the population of the U.S. are farmers. And look at what they produce and produce
and feed the whole country.
Exactly. And export.
So the construction, how far with it now? The construction aspect of Leapab?
No, I haven't gone because you see, I took a lot of time working on trying to develop the proposal for this project and other consultancy things that are so I haven't actually gone too much into the construction yet.
So it's a procurement and
the consultancy and then the school and then this the oil palm. Because it's a lot of work that to be done,
and
to develop.
Do you have plans of tendering for bids? That's the construction company.
Yes, but I have to actually look at what are the areas, because sometimes if you are not careful and you do too many things at a go-to, you mess up your whole strategy. So it's better to sometimes pause, focus on one thing, get it down to a certain point, then you can come back and look at other opportunities.
So running the consultancy, running the procurement, running the school, the palm oil, do you think it has affected the running of some of them? Because maybe one of them is getting more attention than the other.
No, it depends on how you say it. Because the school, for instance, I'm a co-founder, but my wife is managing it now, and is capable, of doing that. And I'll look at the financials, I'll look at the certain functions that I rule. It's not every day that you get day-to-day involved in everything. I'm a director there, fine. But strategy and financial, all those things I help with it. So that doesn't take too much of my time.
And then the consultancy?
And the consultancy, once it comes, I have people who are doing the farm. After some time, once they get to know the strategy, they do the planting and all those things, there will be time off. You get me? Then that one would have been established, you have stabilized, and then you look at other things as well. Involved in that.
What's the key to becoming a successful entrepreneur?
You have to be motivated. Self-motivation is key. And then you also have to learn, continue to learn. There are risks involved. Sometimes you may fail, but you just have to keep on moving.
Have you failed in any business?
Not failure per se that I've
But
lost,
have you had challenges?
No, challenges you have.
Challenges
like even the Leap School, for instance. We bought a bus, we bought this building, but people are not paying, and the quality education they are getting. For instance, you don't get the revenue like you should get because people cannot afford.
Okay.
You get me?
Okay.
So these are some of the challenges.
So if you are not motivated enough,
you stop it, or you say I don't know. But there are other aspects that you get, impacting the people, trying to train kids, bringing their, especially on childhood education. A lot of people didn't know much about childhood education, early childhood education. We brought it in, and now a lot of people are taking it on. That is a motivation enough.
Okay.
You get me?
Okay. What is the easiest way to fail in a business?
The easiest way just is to fold up your arms.
Okay.
Yeah. Once you face the challenge, no, I can't do it. That's why you are failing.
So if the challenge comes and you don't give up?
Yes, you keep on fighting. You keep on pushing.
Okay.
You ask for advice. You see, sometimes we think we know it all. You can ask for advice. People know it. What is the challenge? And even people have gone through it already.
Okay.
Some of these challenges. So you keep on asking. What can I do? This is the challenge I'm facing. And then one thing too, we always want to do our own business, irrespective of the fact that we can even get partnerships.
Okay.
You get me?
We want to be our own
our
CEO.
own CEO, our own MD, our own this thing. So you get to a point, it doesn't work. You get me?
You need partners.
You need partners. People with different ideas to come in sometimes, to assist you with it. Because sometimes you get boggled down, with one particular way of doing things. Somebody may come in and say, oh no, this way, if we do it this way, that's okay. And then you move on.
Who inspires you a lot?
I'm self-motivated, and I ask myself, if people can do it, why can't I do it?
Okay.
If you look at Bill Gates, for instance, he was even going to university, he didn't go.
Okay.
And started, from a garage, and he's made it.
Okay.
Although it's in technology. There are so many people who had very terrible, childhood background, but they have been able to make it.
So you get an inspiration from
and it's not easy. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy.
Okay.
Yeah, but you have to still keep on and see how it goes.
We are still here with Mr. Aboagye Ohene Adu, the Managing Director for Leapab Company Limited. He was a former General Manager of AngloGold Ashanti, and he is sharing his experience with us. Let's go for a very short break. We'll be back soon. Welcome back to the Wundef Show. So, sir, if somebody has an idea, these days, a major problem for many entrepreneurs is funding. What are some of the ways that somebody can get funding for an idea he or she has developed?
Yeah, in Ghana, it's not easy coming by funding, but it depends on the viability of your idea.
Okay.
If you have tested it, you get me? Because once you develop the idea, it's not that you think about big projects and then it may not work. You have to test it, pilot it, okay? And then if you know it will work, you can sell it to other people.
Okay.
There are so many other impact investors around. There are venture capitalists, people who will come in. In Ghana now, there are a lot of organizations that are coming. Social entrepreneurs and other things that are trying to help. Hub and all those things that are trying to assist, to give grants and all those things to people. And then the government too is trying to assist with some of the banks are actually reducing their rates. Okay. I think it's still expensive, because if you are talking about rates of 27% interest rate, there's no way you can make money on your thing.
Okay.
So where you can get grants, and there are people who are in the country, you have to do research. You get me?
Okay.
When you go entrepreneur, where can I get funding? You Google, you can get some of these things that are coming up. Then you start following up.
Okay.
But first of all, your idea must be workable. It must be something that you can test and know that this thing will work. So
first of all, go out, try your idea.
Exactly.
See how workable it is.
Exactly.
So that you have a proof to show.
On a pilot basis or whatever, that this is there. And then you sell it. And if it's a good idea, you will get people to support you.
Okay.
You get me? You have the idea. But at least do basic work on it. What are the challenges? What are those things that I'm going to do? What are the finances? What am I going to do with it? And that kind of thing. That shouldn't put you off, because you still have to be self-motivated. And then you will know how to deal with the strategy.
Okay.
You get me?
Okay.
But when you say that, today, I want to be a millionaire, and then you don't have any idea. How do you sell it? Somebody will ask you, how can you become a millionaire?
Okay.
You get me? So you get ideas, fine-tune it, sell it, tell people, they will advise you. Sometimes you also have to be careful because some people can actually take your ideas and go and implement it.
It's true.
It's been done. It's been done all the time. I know people do it all the time.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have to be mindful of all those things. But friends can give you money. Anybody, a businessman, some of the businessmen, philanthropists, if you go and tell him, this is what I'm trying, can you support me? Probably he can support you.
Okay. But what are some of the challenges?
There are a lot of challenges. There are a lot of risks involved.
Okay.
Now, even if you want to produce a product, is it marketable?
Okay.
You get me? What are the channels that you are going to sell?
So if you have a product but nobody
nobody will buy it.
Okay.
You get me? The finances is one major challenge as well.
Okay.
Okay? And then the stakeholders that you are working with, even your own employees. It's not easy. Sometimes they may not buy your idea, they may not buy your strategy.
Okay.
And you cannot do the work alone.
It's true.
You get me? So there are a whole lot of things there are soft issues that are sometimes even mind-boggling.
You hardly sleep.
You say yes, you hardly sleep. You don't know whether this thing is going to buy you. Like you are going to buy a land, and now you go, there's conflict on it. You've paid the money, and now you can't work on it. You get me? That is a big issue. So people think you can just sleep and that is what people do. They don't normally even involve themselves in what they are doing. They've got to a certain point, let people do it. And that is why, if I take an example, even people who open shops and those things, sometimes they open the shop after sometimes they give other people. And by the time you go, they collapsed. It's collapsed.
So you have to be there.
Yeah, you have to be always aware, know what you are doing, know the finances, what is coming in, what is not going on, what do I have to, and then sometimes when you do it, the money comes and you spend it without knowing other things that must be catered for in the future.
Okay.
So there are a whole lot of things that are involved in but the thing is, if you consider this race and you just get the ideas, think, widely, get ideas, try it, and get motivated. Because there's nothing that you do without challenges. But how you manage the challenges, that what will make you successful.
Thank you very much for coming on the Wundef Show, Mr. Aboagye Ohene Adu.
Thank you very much.
Really appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you.
We are coming to the end of another edition of the Wundef Show. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Charles Udamba. Let's meet again next week. Bye.